Crackerjack, that 1994 Die Hard clone starring Thomas Ian Griffith. Wait, why am I reminiscing about this like it's a fond memory? I'm mostly reminded of this episode because for some reason the link to it over on the site often goes dead, and all people are left with is that edited version over on the League of Super Critics page. Oh, the League of Super Critics page. They owe me so much money, and they won't take down my videos. Plus, they constantly ignore my emails. Don't watch my stuff on the League of Super Critics page. My main reason for doing an episode on Crackerjack was so I could get to the sequel, Crackerjack 2 Hostage Train, or just Hostage Train as it's known in the States. So naturally, I forgot to do an episode on Hostage Train. That is, until today. In Crackerjack 2, the lead character, Jack Wilde, is replaced by none other than Mr. Action Adventure himself, Judge Reinhold? Huh. No offense to the Honorable Judge Reinhold, but replacing Thomas Ian Griffith with Reinhold is like replacing Van Damme with Jason Segel. It's something that you kinda just have to see to believe. I know this is Crackerjack 2, but there's such a huge difference between Griffith and Reinhold that I don't know why they're even playing the same character. It'd have made more sense if Stacey Randall in Excessive Force 2 were still playing Griffith's character from Excessive Force 1. But the more you see of Crackerjack 2, the more you realize that they don't care about direction, script, or plot, so why in the hell would they care about casting? You can tell the company has faith in the project since the logo is only on screen for a second. The movie ain't gonna win any awards, so might as well make the logo look like an award. And check out this bitchin' action movie music! Look, my kid won first prize in the piano recital. Can you make his music the theme? I hear the statue of director Robert Lee was removed and then heavily protested by members of the Carol Alt. Oh, this is gonna get awkward, much like the effects. I don't think they were really filming in a tunnel. I imagine something suspicious was going on here, but it keeps getting interrupted by the credits. Screw you, cast, and your underlining. I see a camera. I see the bad guy from 15 Minutes. I wasn't expecting those two movies to be related. Look, we got Herzog to be our director of photography. You didn't specify which one. Now on with the action. I've got no stake in this. Like a true action hero, Jack Wilde just hides in safety and watches. Judge Reinhold is Jack Cautious. Soon he starts becoming useful after Thor is killed. Jack wildly shoots and somehow hits his target. That is, before his obvious stunt double is blown from his hiding spot. Let's make a getaway, boys! Guys, that's the newspaper van dropping off the papers for the delivery boy! Stop shooting! Jack is in big trouble.
Call base, get a level 2 TAC perimeter set up over a 5-mile radius.
You shut your hole, Wild. I give the orders around here.
Whatever.
That classic Jack Wilde catchphrase. Whatever. This is like watching Ryan Stiles take over for the role of John McClane, which, given the last film, would be an improvement.
Stupidity almost had my partner killed.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah? Well, tell that to Maury the next time the steel rod in his leg sets off the airport alarm.
Does that happen often? Thankfully, Jack warns them about the bomb left behind.
Everybody out! Everybody out! Everybody out!
So they still died. Now we can get back to sneaking into girls' bedrooms. That is classic Jack rape. This is his girlfriend, Dana, played by Carol Alt.
Well, where were you?
Now we get this tip on an explosives heist. I meant to call you. Forgot.
The romance here is as impressive as in the Judge Reinhold erotic thriller Zandali. Same with the drama.
So what else is new?
It was Becker.
That means nothing to me.
It's been 8 years.
Not in here, it isn't. Inside my head, it happens every night.
What happens every night? Doesn't seem so bad. They fade to whited her to death. So, Jack is upset about the murder of his wife. Is this the same wife he was mourning in the first film, when it wasn't just his wife who was killed, but his kids too? He makes no mention of kids here, and the person who killed this wife is the villain Hans Becker. Even though his family's killer was in the first film, and his name wasn't Hans Becker, so I guess this is a different wife. Long story short, don't marry Jack Wilde. But wait, this is the same footage of his wife getting killed in the first movie. They just simply took out the shots showing Griffith. So I'm thinking too hard about this, and Jack Wilde simply just hated his kids. And of course the villain in the Die Hard clone's name is Hans.
Look, I've told you it will work. As long as the satellite relay is calibrated correctly with the dish on the mountain, yes, it will work. We'll be able to access any financial database we want.
I appreciate you stealing Eric Bogosian's plan from Under Siege 2, but somehow I doubt this will end with Judge Reinhold outrunning a train wreck. Although the box cover kind of suggests that, if the train wreck were simply the movie Hostage Train. Captain Hardass wants to find Jack because he's fucking pissed that Jack saved his life, and he's also a pervert.
I'd like to have a look in there.
Sure. As long as you think that your intentions won't be misunderstood.
Boobs.
Satisfied? Or are you really looking for trouble?
You knew he was going in there! This is a scene so unsexy, not even Brad Hamilton would jerk off to it. Yeah, you put on those mom jeans.
It is the perfect setting for the perfect sales pitch for an overseas mining operation.
Hey, easy on the sex talk. I'm working with 20 pounds of blue balls already! Jesus, her leaving looks like it's the most depressing thing to happen to Jack. He's pouting like a child. Are you sure the brain of Fred Savage isn't still in there? Don't worry, Becker, we have the most high-tech equipment. This is one of those hefty-ass laptops that has a faucet button on it. Time to use some old-school Photoshop. Boring. Play life and death instead, and don't turn on the anesthesia. It'll be hilarious. Almost as hilarious as the fight scene. Showing me the chair hitting twice impresses me even more.
I just bought that thing.
I see he's playing 3 characters. Judge, jury, and executioner Reinhold. The villains are so badass that they sent Jack a message by leaving behind the dead body of Blofeld. Surely this means something.
First name Jacob S., last name Toland.
Toland.
Is there something you'd like to share with the rest of us? Oh, Becker is Toland. Toland is clearly his code name, since obviously Carl Roden comes across as a Becker. Must make it to the train before anyone is killed.
What are you guys doing here?
And then they have no bullets left because they wasted them on one guy. Worse terrorists. Well, thank God there's no dumb kid in this, I guess.
Sorry, Mr. Prime. My sister called at the last minute. I had to pick up my nephew. It's only for tonight. He won't get into any trouble.
I brought my own train.
No! That toy train is more realistic than this control center, though. Hurry, Jack, get on the train before a shitty special effect happens. That looks like an effect that should be in a review for Crackerjack 2, and not in the actual movie Crackerjack 2. I'll add sound to that later. Anyway, the reason the terrorists take over the train is, I don't know, diamonds? Fuck it, let's just say it's diamonds. But one thing Jack didn't count on, major fire hole. The tunnel just took the one-chip challenge and survived. The villains let everyone know that they're serious. They send a tape of them strangling Michael Rooker from Mallrats, complete with a message.
They know who I am. And they know what I'm capable of.
You're capable of shitty special effects? Anyway, on with his demands. Diamonds. I guess he probably wants diamonds or something. The tunnel is sealed off. This is just like that Stallone movie Daylight, only if there was no real danger. Even the hostages seem like cheap action villains.
You were supposed to be running this joyride. Do you mind telling me just where the hell we are and what you're gonna do about it?
You mind asking me that again without your action movie voice? But anyway, some guy named Smith turns out to be a bad guy. Carol Alt sure is shocked by this. I guess I would be too if I knew who the fuck Smith was. Yes, you take care of her, Sergeant Pepper, she-wolf of the hostage train. Oh good, Nerdy McSidekick is here to save the day.
If I have a heart attack, I'm gonna kill him. But would he care? Not too goddamn likely. Insurance? Yeah, I tried to drop a guy onto the roof of a moving train in the middle of the Rocky Mountains.
Given that the rocks are just styrofoam, it's easy for him to move them while monologuing. So, back to the plan.
Presumably you'd have access to all the trust accounts in your brokerage firm.
I don't have that kind of information.
I'm quite sure that you do, Miss Townsend.
Or just give us diamonds. We probably want diamonds. Becker just got a much better role as Rasputin in Hellboy, so I guess Smith is the lead villain now.
It appears that Mr. Brandis cares more about his money than he does about you, Miss Kelly.
She's nothing but a whore anyway.
I'm glad this movie is making me sympathize with the hostages. They'll figure out this hostage's passcode one way or another. Good, she removed his overacting chip. How is it that the hostage is the overactor with the crazy accent and not the villain? Oh, and his password was hidden in his tooth. I'm not joking. Let's take him back to the holding quarters so we can kill him there.
You're fucking dead, sweetheart!
Not as dead as you.
He can't hear you, he's dead! Alright, the movie has a hero. I almost forgot. Now he can do what he does best, hide in the face of danger. He notices a hole in the wall where he now becomes Jack Inconvenienced. Oh, thank God, people, Jack is here. I guess he'll do if our only choice of an action hero is between Judge Reinhold or Richard Macer. I don't understand what the big deal is. If this guy can start moving rubble, something tells me they'd have no problem getting out of this tunnel. But let's go with Plan B, Morse code.
Even if the phone is gone, you can use the bare leads to signal. Morse code.
Oh, yeah. I was a Boy Scout.
Why did you say that sarcastically? Despite using your fake action movie voice, I believe that you were a Boy Scout. Meanwhile, back to the villain's plans of guns and diamonds and fondling. Blah, go back to showing Jack and his jockeys. And I know that action movie characters are supposed to be bad shots, but in this movie, it's ridiculous. How was no one hit? I think the characters are simply using blanks. Maybe they were inspired off of Die Hard 2. But that's the power of Jack Wilde.
Jack Wilde? Are you sure?
Victor saw him.
You told me he'd been taken care of.
Guys, are you really that intimidated? If your plan was thwarted by Jack Isel of head office, was it that great of a plan to begin with? All Jack Wilde can do is pray that one of them is a smoker. Jesus, not even Becker is that sadistic, as he begs the other bad guy to put the poor dude out of his misery. Hopefully someone understands Jack's code.
Some idiot is playing with one of the emergency phones.
Get that son of a bitch off the airwaves.
Uncle Scott,
Please, not now.
but that's Morse code.
Fuck you! This'll teach the world for frequently confusing me for Robert Vaughn. Give him the code, son. SOS, need more money for effects budget. Well, okay, these effects are serviceable. This officially has better effects than some of the shit that was being theatrically released at the time. I guess someone was killed because Becker is pissed.
I want blood!
Maybe he's pissed because he just found out McClane killed his brother. It wouldn't be a Crackerjack film unless they were ripping off direct lines from Die Hard.
I'm on your side, assholes!
But this one has action all of its own. Sure. Thankfully, one of the hostages knows a lot about trains. Usually he hides out in the Amtrak bathroom and sticks these up his ass. It's all part of his internet series, Will It Fit? Now all of the, diamonds, I guess, are located on this compact disc. Unfortunately, they lose everything if it gets a scratch on it. He's got a guard, so surely Jack won't. Oh, Jack gets the CD.
I've got a heart condition. I'm not supposed to get too excited.
That ought to calm you down.
Good job, Jack. You punched a nerd. Well, 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 Hans.
It's a blast from your past.
You're not Thomas Ian Griffith. Actually, Becker looks more like Griffith than Reinhold does. Why isn't he playing the lead? He'd be more intimidating than this.
I've got something for you, Hans.
You got him a flashback? Even his wife is like, what am I doing in this scene? Anyway, knock him out. There's still 20 minutes of the movie we have to kill. Oh no, duct tape, Jack's one weakness. So Smith double crosses all of them, the tunnel is flooding, and Smith loses his money.
We have to get our money back, Mr. Crow. Stop the countdown.
Yet he sounds like he doesn't give a shit about any of this. There's a lot of water in the way, so I guess we don't really need to see Becker and Jack fight, or Becker getting blown the fuck up. Look, I know all you hostages want Christopher Plummer back from Crackerjack 1, but it's not gonna happen. At least the villains in the first Crackerjack made a lot more sense.
Thought I heard a shot.
Do you want to hear another?
Why? Smith takes Dana hostage because he is an exceptional thief, and since he's moved his way up to kidnapping, I should be more polite. Dig this tense back and forth.
Mr. Wilde.
Oh, if it isn't the double-crossing bastard.
Whatever.
Hey, that's Jack's catchphrase. Whatever. They have something in common. It sounds like neither of them give a shit.
Let her go. Let them all go. And I'll give you the disc.
Fuck the kidnapped girlfriend. Jack has hostages to scare. He's here for his fucking weenie whistle! Anyway, it's gonna be really easy to get out of there, since this is the easiest to move rubble ever. By the way, it's daylight all of a sudden. That's how long Jack was down there making his Joker face. Face to face at last.
What do you say, Smith? You a gambler?
Always bet on white? Then she shoots Jack and the villains win. Why? If you're wondering how there's still 10 minutes left, it's because the two outside are playing Finders Keepers with a fucking radio. Well, this is easy. All you gotta do is just take off the watch he's holding on to. Oh, I hope that's not a hostage. No, it wasn't! Yes, another explosion goes off, but don't worry, they're fine, as they talk about their honeymoon. I didn't even know they were engaged. And then they end on a fucking sitcom joke.
No trains. No trains.
If this is your idea of Christmas, don't call me for New Year's. Can't say I'm a huge fan of the further adventures of Jack Wilde. This movie was just an excuse to use all the Die Hard scenes that they didn't rip off in the first movie. I'd rather spend time with Jack's distant cousin Nick Wilde from Heat and Wild Card. Even though this is one of the most hilariously miscast action leads since John Wayne as Genghis Khan, it could have almost worked if they weren't playing it so serious. If it had more of a sense of humor about itself and Reinhold was directed to be more like Action Jackson Billy from the end of Beverly Hills Cop 2, there could have been some enjoyment there. Maybe director Robert Lee thought he was directing a sequel to his own film Cyberjack instead of Crackerjack. Why the hell couldn't you have brought along Dudikoff? Don't worry, I'm sure they fixed all of this for the sequel, Crackerjack 3, which features neither Griffith or Reinhold or the character Jack Wilde. Well, I look forward to spotlighting that movie in several years.
Jack and Maury flying high,
Doing damage from the sky.
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/StonedGremlinProductions. Follow us on Twitter at the Cinema Snob, or check out our homepage at thecinemasnob.com.